Vito Brewster here with another 3 for All, and this is 3 Vito Bratta Licks from 1991. And I've had a lot of surprises, since I've started this channel. But one big surprise is just the relentless and consistent, messages and requests for Vito Bratta and or the music of White Lion. And it's really interesting, because Vito is still alive out there somewhere. It's not like Randy Rhoads or Stevie Ray or someone like that that's passed away. Vito's still alive. We just don't really know where he is exactly, probably somewhere in Brooklyn. And we don't even know if he's still playing guitar. I'd like to think that he is, at least, maybe like nylon string or acoustic or something. But it is interesting that there's just been an outpour of respect and requests and messages and stories and concert stories and things like that shared. And every time I kind of look in the comments section, I notice, like every so often, it's like, hey, there's another Vito. There's another White Lion, and it's interesting because I think we all really miss, his guitar playing in that band. I did have a lot of requests for more Vito, more White Lion, and I did do a Vito Bratta, 3 for All last year and a chord play for White Lion. But I did stumble upon this concert footage. It's from 1991. It was in Brooklyn, New York, and it was a White Lion Extreme Tyketto concert at the Lemoore. And when I found the concert footage, I'd never seen it before, and it's a very strange concert because White Lion comes out, they do like maybe 4 or 5 songs, and then like rock gang style, all the bands like pile on stage, and you can see Gary Sharon, you can see Nuno Bettencourt, members of Tyketto, and there's just this mob of people on stage, 2 bassists and a mob of guitarists and a bunch of vocalists. And then that goes on for a while, like a half an hour, and they're playing covers, and it turns into like a cover gig. And then they kind of reform White Lion again. They do Leave Me Alone, and then it kind of breaks up again, and they do Bring It On Home and Rock and Roll, from Led Zeppelin. So it's a really strange gig and or concert. And if you've never seen it, I found it on YouTube, and I just kind of collected some licks and phrases from that concert footage. To give you a little taste of the chaos from this concert, this is at the end of Tush, I think, when they played ZZ Top's Tush, and it just turns into complete Guitarmageddon. The first lick comes from their cover of Radar Love, the Golden Earring classic, and I've seen some transcriptions online that were written incorrectly of the song or the solo. Even the book for Big Game, it's written incorrectly in the book too. And you can distinctly see that, Vito played this barrage of diminished ideas and flat 5 ideas like this. And there you can see we're doing this rolling flat 5 thing in the beginning, which is really cool. And then move that up a minor third. So you're kind of moving from here. You kind of think of that as F sharp. Move it up to A. And I've noticed online, like in transcriptions, they usually show that as tapped. Something like that. But he's actually doing a string skip, like this. Instead of tapping those notes. He's literally reaching over and grabbing it on the high E. And then right there, he basically starts kind of sidestepping his way up, and he's hitting, just 2 notes of the diminished arpeggio. And that kind of reminds me of Randy Rhoads a little bit. And then right here, it's still a little piece of diminished. But the way he kind of combined the notes there is really cool. Alright, so one more time at speed. And then here's the footage from 91 with Vito playing that lick. Here's a rapid-fire pull-off lick that Vito does when they cover Tush, the ZZ Top song. And it's something like this. It's pretty standard, but it's kind of cool to hear Vito play like this. And when I first heard that lick, I thought he was at first doing this. You know, that kind of triplet or sextuplet, you know, movement. You know, it's the same lick, just two different ways of playing it. But then when I watched the footage a little bit closer, I realized he was just doing it that way. And then he really just cruises down, you know, G minor, you know, blues. It kind of ends on that C. And here's the footage from '91 with Vito playing that. Here's a double-picked melodic phrase from his solo from Leave Me Alone. And this is really interesting because the drums are kind of doubling the rhythmic, you know, intensity of this phrase. And I don't think it's actually on the studio version. I could be wrong. But when I heard this part of the solo, I was like, whoa, that's cool. And he's really not moving too much. I think it's pretty much all picking hand and something like this. And right there, slowly, you know, you can kind of pick out what we're doing. You know, something like that. And there's that slight kind of aggressive palm mute too. And I'm a sucker for those double pick lines, you know, and I've talked about, you know, the interlude from Still of the Night, and there's a whole bunch of, you know, different examples of double picking out there. And I love phrases like that, where it's rhythmic, you know, and it's very intense, but there's really not a whole lot happening, right? It's just kind of like a little fifth right there. But with the drums and the guitar kind of sync together, it really sounds powerful. Here's a bonus lick from this live footage, and this is from when they played a cover of I Don't Know, you know, the Ozzy Osbourne, you know, classic. And it was really interesting to watch Vito play, you know, standard Van Halen songs, Ain't Talking About Love. And when they did You Really Got Me, you know, he literally copped, you know, Van Halen's solo. When they did I Don't Know, he's literally copying, you know, Randy Rhoads licks. So this is really interesting because it's the opening of the solo from I Don't Know. And it's a little different than the original, you know, Randy's version. But it's kind of cool to learn a variation of a Randy Rhoads lick from Vito Bratta. You know, it's kind of weird. It's like, whoa, something like this. Something like that. And it starts in the right place, but he just kind of changes some of the phrasing. But it's still Randy Rhoads-esque. It's just kind of Vito's interpretation. The first part. And then just hop all the way over to that A. And then you're going to basically grab that E and bend up to F, you know, a half step. So I do like Vito's, you know, kind of Randy Rhoads twist there on that lick. Here's the clip from '91 of him playing that, you know, on stage. All right, that's going to wrap this look at 3 Vito Bratta licks from 1991. I'm definitely a big Vito Bratta fan. You know, I've been following him and admired his playing since I was in high school. And I guess this episode kind of proves that I'm open to doing sequels. You know, I've had so many requests from people that, you know, mentioned a guitarist and then they noticed I already did a version or, you know, a lesson, and then they seem kind of, you know, unhappy or defeated in the comments, like, oh man, I saw you already did one, bummer. But I can definitely do sequels. You know, I've done 2 Van Halen chord plays. This is the second, you know, Vito Bratta 3 for All, and I plan on doing more, you know, depending on the guitarist and their feedback and requests. We can start hitting, you know, sequels. And there's definitely a lot of guitarists I haven't talked about yet that I definitely have, you know, kind of scheduled or planned for future lessons. But this lesson literally just came about because I found the footage. I'd never seen it before. I was like, wow, that's really cool to see Vito playing covers, you know, and the kind of odd concert with Extreme and Tyketto kind of, you know, barging the stage or whatever. But I don't know, I just felt inspired when I got up today, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make that Vito Bratta lesson, and here we are. So I am kind of random, whatever I'm feeling on a certain day. If I have the free time to make a video like this, I sit down. If I'm really feeling it, I sit down and I knock it out. And if I have to really kind of work with it, or it's kind of a harder process, then I tend to, kind of back off, and I'll wait or kind of revisit it, again in the future. So lessons like this, it just kind of happened. I was feeling it, inspired, good footage, good licks, wham bam, it's done. And then other lessons that I haven't made yet, it's kind of a process for me, where it's like, okay, it's not quite there yet, or I quite don't really have the footage, or the licks that I like. But we'll get there. But anyway, leave some feedback and some comments. Please subscribe to Late Night Lessons, and I'll be back before you know it with more content material. Thank you.